All right, making project number 3 in the Essential Craftsman Blacksmithing course. It's called a Holdfast. Goes in the Pritchel hole of the anvil, like so, and it's supposed to hold material to your anvil. They said to use the largest size rebar that'll fit in your Pritchel hole. For me, that's 3/4 inch. It's freaking huge. So we're gonna get started and see if it works. I might have to downsize, but we're gonna get this in the forge and start by forging out the foot, which is gonna be kind of a flat, rounded tip that'll directly make contact with the material and kind of pin it down to the anvil. So we'll see how it goes. All right, here it is. This is the foot I'm going for. So we got a nice little flat spot. Now we're gonna make this curve a little more dramatic and kind of bring this down, and then go for kind of a, I'll show you what we're going for here. Going for something like that. It's gonna have to be a tighter, smaller curve than what I have traced out, because I'm realizing my Pritchel hole, I'm only gonna, if I go this, I'm only gonna be able to hold something from like here to here. But I wanna be able to hold the majority of the face. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, there's kind of what I was talking about. Got a good bend to it. Now we're going to start to bend here to kind of get that hump that we're looking for. Still feeling like this is too thick, but we're going to forge it out anyways and see how it does. So on this heat, I'm going to do something I've always wanted to try, which is I'm gonna smack the material over the horn of the anvil to kind of get the bend started. Just seems fun, so we're gonna give it a try. Not bad for the horn smack. That worked great and fast. Getting there. Okay, so like I said, I need a really drastic bend because of how short the face of my anvil is. So I got that in there, got this nice and straight. This is what's gonna go in the Pritchel hole. Now the foot's not quite level anymore, so I need to heat up the foot and flatten her out, make the angle a little bit better on that. Okay, I am pretty happy with that. I am gonna cut this. I also only have a very shallow, because the stump, so I'm gonna have to cut this with the angle grinder kind of down to size, and then we're gonna see if we can't get it to hold something. Let's give it a whirl. All right, I'm gonna go take this to my belt grinder and just clean this up, get the burrs off of it, round it off. cleaned up. Let's go drop it in the pritchel hole, see if it works. All right, I got a piece of, I don't know, just some type of flat scrap steel. Drop her in there. Give this a hit with the hammer. See if it'll stick. All right, not sticking. So I think I need to bring this out just a little bit so there's a little bit more of an angle. This is just too vertical, so it's not getting any kind of a grab. So I'm gonna put it back in the forge, and I'm just gonna pull this out just a smidge, this whole thing, give it a slight better angle. I might have to adjust the foot after I do that, but we're just gonna mess with it until it grabs. All right, I got the piece back in the forge. We're gonna, like I said, try to work with the angles, see if we can get this thing to function right. I'm just gonna put it over the horn. Like that, we don't have as kind of matching of just a full like bend here where this is parallel to this. Now I gotta adjust that foot, and then we'll give it another try clamping something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna heat up the foot kind of right here, keep all this as cold as possible, so that I can just drop it in the pritchel hole like it is now and hit the hammer on the foot until it's flush with the face of the anvil. And then we'll try for another grab. But you can see what I'm saying, where this bar stock or this rebar, this 3/4 inch is just so big. Even when I do flatten this out, I'm only gonna be able to get a hold on maybe like 4 inches of my anvil, which don't know how useful that will be, but it's a fun project nonetheless. We'll see if we can get this thing to grab. Hey, that's better than the last grab. It took at least a little bit. Not quite yet what we want. So we're gonna put it back in. I'm gonna mess with this. I'm gonna mess with this angle again like last time. And just see what I can do here. Alright, moment of truth. This is going to tell us if we have found the magic sauce here. One hammer blow should give us a hold. Second hammer blow loosens it up. Come on. Not giving me the hold I want. I think I just have too drastic of a curve here. I think in an effort to give myself more clamp space, I have kind of messed with the geometry of this thing. So I am gonna widen out gonna put this over the horn and kind of make that ever so slightly wider. See if that works. Literal trial by fire. Probably is me. Most likely me. Most likely not the equipment. Okay, widened that out a little bit. Probably do another heat and just try to heat this kind of front portion and then drop it in the Pritchel hole and hammer it until this thing gets flush with the anvil. When I pull this thing out, I have a little bucket of water over here, and when I pull it out, I'm gonna just do kind of a dirty cool down of kind of the back side of that bow, because I don't want to lose the work I just did on widening that thing out. I just want the foot to come down. So I'm gonna kind of quick cool that so that when I drop it in the Pritchel hole and start hammering the foot to be flush, I don't lose any of the work I just did. All right, now we're gonna let that cool and we're gonna give it another whirl with holding the piece of steel to the face. Well, I think at this point, and I could be wrong, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think at this point, I think my rebar is too big. It's so tight of a fit in the Pritchel hole as it is that it's not able to kind of get the right kind of locking angle within the Pritchel hole. So I'm gonna try this with a smaller piece of rebar, like a 1/2 inch piece of rebar, and see if it works. I'll spare you guys the forging. I'll just get it done, and then we'll just draw a comparison, see if it works better than the 3/4 inch. All right, I'm almost done with the 1/2 inch piece of rebar, and I can already tell it's gonna work so much better. You need some space in your Pritchel hole for it to kind of get in at an angle and kind of lock down, and the 3/4 inch is like an exact fit, and it just didn't have the space it needed to really lock down. This is gonna work perfect. So I'm about to clean it up just a bit, and then I'll show you guys how it locks down. Here's the 3/4 inch. No wiggle in that thing at all. It fills the whole Pritchel hole. Here's the 1/2 inch rebar. Drops in there, and boom, look at that. Very, very little movement. It's super solid. We did it. So my recommendation, if you're gonna build one of these Holdfasts, make sure whatever kind of stock you're using, rebar is great because it has the ribs, which kind of help grab on the edges of the underside and top side of your Pritchel hole. Use something that's a smaller dimension than your Pritchel hole. Don't try to fill that Pritchel hole, or it's just not gonna work. So there's the Holdfast in its glory. We did it. That's project number 3 from the Essential Craftsman Blacksmithing course. Again, I highly recommend it. This is only the 3rd thing I've ever made, and as you can see, there was a ton of trial and error. I think that's going to be pretty much par for the course with this craft. Blacksmithing, don't expect to bust something out in your first try. Expect a lot of heats while you're beginning and getting started. This is the Beginner Blacksmith. Thanks for watching.